Tarhos Kovachs, also known as the Knight. Tarhos didn't remember much about his childhood, but what he did remember is waking up to a burning village filled with lifeless bodies littered everywhere. He stared at the carnage that had happened without realizing he was getting kidnapped by the men that snuck up behind him. Even after being stuffed in a crate with the other slaves that's been kidnapped, Tarhos continued to stare at the scene, trying to understand what couldn't be understood. Tarhos was taken to Italy where he belonged to the Guardia Campagna, training under Kadir Hakam. Tarhos learned how to wield weapons, forge armor, and recite a code of chivalry to serve those who employed his service. Years passed by, and Tarhos made quite a following when he showed his skills and strengths. 3 of his followers pledged their undying allegiance to Tarhos and became a pack. Alejandro Santiago apprenticed with their armorer. Durkos Malazek has been known for his stealth and silent skills, and Sander Ralt matched Tarhos in size and strength, with his favorite weapon of choice, a massive battle axe. Together they carried out campaigns in faraway lands, yet any killings he caused to his enemies didn't bring him the same feeling in his village. Despite all of this, he was granted knighthood for his bravery in battle. The Hungarian slave was free at last, yet his heart still longed for something he couldn't describe. He left the Guardia Campagna, but his leader refused to release his followers. Tarhos later found employment with Vittorio Toscano, an Italian lord who's the Duke of Portoscuro. He was also a scholar, world traveler, and collector of ancient knowledge long hidden by an unknown cabal of mystics. He helped Vittorio on his latest expedition that took them to Roman ruins in France, crossing the Pyrenees Mountains into Spain, and to the catacombs beneath the Portuguese city of Sintra. They were in search of a stone Vittorio called the Lapis Paradius, believing it held secrets to open a gateway into a perfect world beyond good and evil. Tarhos would have to kill the villagers guarding the entrance, since the catacombs were considered sacred to them. Vittorio wanted Tarhos to find another way that didn't involve any bloodshed, but Tarhos refused to be dissuaded. After Vittorio went back to their camp, Tarhos charged into the catacombs, cutting down a path of blood and gore to get the stone. Returning to the town of Portoscuro, Tarhos imprisoned Vittorio in his own dungeon, demanding to know the meaning behind the symbols etched in the stone, but Vittorio refused to talk. This led to Tarhos brutally torturing his friends and relatives, making a horrific display of their bodies in the streets. Yet this didn't make Vittorio talk. Enraged, Tarhos seized control of Vittorio's riches, raising a small army, and made a march upon the Guardia Campagna. They destroyed the barracks and slaughtered everyone there, with Tarhos freeing his followers. The whole town knew about the battle that happened, believing Tarhos to be the embodiment of evil. Yet, with all the threats Tarhos has faced, he still saw the lords as cowards who hide behind their greed and ambition in laws, codes, and platitudes. He went to the dungeon that Vittorio was still imprisoned in with intent of putting him out of his misery, knowing that once he was killed, Tarhos wouldn't know the secrets of the stone. While this was happening, a battle raged on above the dungeon. He ran up and saw his enemies raining flaming boulders and tree trunks around the town. Yet amongst the carnage and chaos, he was reunited with his pack. The 4 of them seemed to be unstoppable as they were cutting down their enemies' ranks. The battle went on for so long, Tarhos didn't notice the fog started rising from the corpses and clattering armor. Tarhos stumbled from the fog as he couldn't see anything, leaving his sense of direction to be lost. He called out to his pack, and as the fog dissipated, all he saw was a wasteland of rotting bodies and burning villages, with a tower crumbling in the horizon. This left Tarhos with the same feeling he felt when looking at his burning village, the feeling he has been looking for this whole time. Thanks to the entity's help, he found the paradise he has ever dreamed of, and he wasn't alone. His ability, known as Guardia Campagna, allows him to summon 3 of his followers from his pack to scout on a path Tarhos makes and find the survivors, each one having their own unique abilities. The Carnifex can perform guard orders more quickly and has a shorter cooldown. The Assassin walks faster during a hunt and inflicts deep wound on a survivor, and the Jailer has a wider radius, walking faster during a patrol and can patrol and hunt longer than the others, making it easier for survivors to end up in his radius. Tarhos can also order his minions to break through breakable walls, break drop pallets, or even damage generators. Once a minion spots a survivor, a loud notification goes off as the minion chases down that survivor. Survivors would have to outlast the hunt while being chased to not get injured, which would be difficult since you would now have 2 killers after you. Tarhos perks allows him to cause survivors to scream every 25 seconds outside of your radius whenever there's a dull totem and you injure a survivor, only deactivating when the cursed survivor is put on the dying state, making the survivor suffer from exposed for 10 to 20 seconds whenever they stun you, and see auras of survivors within 24 meters of you for 3 to 5 seconds whenever you damage a generator. Overall, I put Knight in the A tier. He is quite a unique killer since you can summon all kinds of help. The Knight is perfect for map control, unlike Trapper with his bear traps. Also, it was pretty funny since during the time there were leaked information about the next killer being a Knight, for some reason people thought Dead by Daylight was having a crossover event with For Honor. Can you imagine playing as, I don't know, Warmonger as a killer? Actually, if anything, the perfect For Honor character for Dead by Daylight would have to be Hirokiri, since her backstory fits in perfectly. Why wouldn't the entity choose her? She is the most feared samurai out of anyone else in the game.